I'm going off my watch because it's.
I have a big.
Your watch is correct. It's got my alarm.
Okay, it's 8:30, so I'll call the Animal Shelter Board meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from May 15th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of May 15th.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Public comment. Yeah, we have down here, future shelter events on that.
Yeah, their own little spot.
Okay, any public comment? Any public comment?
Yes,
Okay,
I would like to thank Deb for doing some new things. We get plenty of criticism and complaints. So it's very important to have, even if it's not a huge fundraiser, some good public, showing that we're doing good. Trying to help the community. So I think it's very important. She's a newer person into our community, so that's very appreciated.
okay, any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Okay, public comment is closed. First thing on the agenda, the new logo.
Until you say it's new. Now, this line is not supposed to be there. That's why this has to be professionally done. This is just me cutting and pasting. But it's, the shelter has no like shirts, or we just walk around in our, it would be nice to have, something that's nice and bright. 2025, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably call around at places that do this. So it may look, it's gonna be the same thing, but it may look a little different because obviously it's not from my computer, but it's gonna be the same, but I will get like quotes and stuff like that
And bring it back.
and bring it back. Yeah, absolutely.
Shouldn't the tails be entwined?
Okay, we're talking cut and paste in here from the internet, the best I can do. But something of this, because you got the trees, we're in northern Wisconsin here, so I thought it was kind of, maybe the animals might be a little smaller, the trees might be a little skinnier, I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
and you can get a couple of variations, right? Because that would
Yeah.
fit on the back of a shirt, but you'd need a smaller
Yeah.
one for the front of a shirt.
Yeah.
And a graphic designer could help you out. with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and then hoping to do, your little business cards, and I need something that will go on our website nice and our Facebook as soon as I fix that. Right. Something that can just be easily used wherever we need it to be.
Get the badges done. Get you
Yeah,
badges with that.
yeah, you can, you do have to, you'll fix it. I don't know how to get the line out of there. I've tried a million times and I don't know what I did when I cut and pasted, but on the computer, there's no line, but as soon as you print it, there's this little. But anyway,
Okay, so you're going to check in on that more?
I just need you to, maybe approve to do a new logo, but not implement it until you know what the fees are gonna be, I guess is.
And come back and approve.
And
it
come back and
finally.
approve a final.
To approve some kind of a budget for that? Like approve, like.
Well, I think we can take it out of the gift fund, because this is a project,
Special needs.
special needs
Yeah,
projects
project.
and fundraising. This is good to have a nice logo, because we have probably 3 or 4 different types of logos for the shelter that are splattered all over the place. It needs to be one consistent. When somebody sees this, they know it's Russ County Animal Shelter. Kind of like, these nice logos here, like Purple Cat, that's Purple Cat. That's the Fixes In, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if we need a motion at this time. You're just going to get more information on it and everything.
As long as it's
You
okay
just
for me to
wanted
do that.
Show
Yeah.
show us what you're doing. Okay, anything more on that? Okay,
You guys are okay with, if we start using it a little bit, we'll do the cutting and pasting, but. till
yeah,
I can
and come
get a
back with
nicer-
something fine.
Okay.
Okay,
What does the big one look like? I make a copy. Because on this little other page, their tails are. Yeah.
Yeah, they got.
Okay, yeah, it's a heart, so what's,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't get it fully.
okay, let's move on to ordinance on limit on animals.
That's what this letter's about.
And we just got,
You don't have it in your packet because it just got to me yesterday.
But the letter's the third bullet point.
I didn't have the letter.
no, this is the second. Well, this is. Yes, well.
Yes.
There's a third thing, but the ordinance on the limit of animals, you know, they're kind of combined together in a way, in that you were talking about having
Ordinance,
an ordinance.
but I can't do a county-wide ordinance. Every municipality has to have their own ordinance when it comes to the limits.
Okay,
As far as I understand, I can't just say, you know, because maybe some chairman or maybe they don't want to do that or.
but we have a countywide ordinance that the dogs have to be licensed.
Yes, because that's a state law.
Okay,
The number of animals is not a state law
Okay.
unless, the only thing that will apply to animals is if they are a licensed breeder
Oh,
or
yeah.
a licensed animal shelter or rescue. If you are not a licensed, if you're not licensed by the state, an animal shelter, rescue or whatnot, or breeder, you are under, you basically can do whatever you want until someone catches you but they're not really breaking the law per se. Unless their animals aren't rabies vaccinated and licensed, but they can, as long as they stay under 25. The problem is you have 20 people. And that's just a number, say in Rusk County that are all doing this. And they're all having 24 puppies a year or 18 puppies a year. Times that by 20. And then what happens is they can't get rid of them. They call us. And if we can't take them, we have to tell them to call other people because I don't have any room. You can't warehouse animals at a shelter. It's not fair to them. Otherwise, it's euthanasia. You know what I mean? So every place is doing their best, but it's every county around us.
Yeah.
And this past year, it's gotten a lot worse. People are doing this to make money, but then they can't sell them. And we had 2 puppies come in, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. I mean, those puppies were clean, ears were clean, very well mannered, nice little dogs. Nobody claimed them. So they were probably part of a litter somebody couldn't get rid of or sell or whatever they were doing. So that's kind of what happens.
so that,
There has to be in order, you know, the shelter lost $60,000, you know, this year. And we have limited staff, limited space. There's only 8 kennels there. And when you have this going on, you got 20 people doing this, and then all of a sudden they got to get rid of their dogs. It's a problem. And if we can, like the letter says, be proactive instead of reactive and do something and try to stop these people from doing this. Like if you're going to come into Rusk County, you're not going to be able to do this because we have, you know, and this isn't just people in the farm. This is people in apartment buildings. This is people in houses. This is people in campers and trailers that are living with.
I've seen Facebook posts people looking to rent space, put animals in because they don't have space at home to do it. And they're doing stuff similar to this with like chickens or rabbits or something.
And that's, and the ones that are over, because anytime I feel like somebody might be over, I call the state. And I have him come out where I work with him and he'll check it out and be like, yep, they're a licensed breeder dog, or you know what, these people are under 25. So then he kicks it back to me. Not a whole heck of a lot I can do except for rabies vaccine and licensing. Unless I issue them an abatement order or there's issues there with animal neglect or they're having a hard time feeding them, that's when I can intervene and be like, hey, let's fix this. But if I go somewhere and they got 40 dogs out there and they're all healthy and they're fed and they're rabies vaccinated and they're licensed. They're gonna have every year, a bunch more.
So no ordinance on limited animals, because you said that's each individual municipality.
Right, and
So-
I don't believe there's any in Russ County that I'm aware of. I haven't found any.
So we're continuing discussion on the flyer letter to municipalities. We just got this, so as you look it over and everything, do you think this is? You just got this,
This basically goes over every point. It's not a lengthy letter. It's basically saying, I guess, asking like, hey, if you're interested, you can't force any municipality to do anything, but if you're interested, I'm interested in doing something to combat the people that are in the shadows.
Need a motion to authorize Dawn to send this out.
My only question is I want to send, because I just got this yesterday. The other letter I was talking about is basically regarding the animal shelter and what we've been doing. So that's these two things I wanted to send in a packet with a letter to municipalities regarding the animal shelter and with numbers and what we've been doing, blah, 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 blah. This letter is specifically from the humane officer. It's also me. I don't want to send a big packet and then have nobody read it.
has Rich looked at it?
I don't know, but Ashley emailed that to me. So I know when I talked to her about the ordinances, he was gonna talk to Rich about it.
Okay, because we'd have to have Rich approve it before.
Yep.
And then she's got the other letters in here.
I don't have an actual shelter letter with I don't have time to do that yet, but. So basically, I'd be sending two separate things.
Well, in one packet.
Do I send it in one packet? Cause I don't I want it to be read.
But
If I sent you all of that plus another letter in one packet, are you gonna read it, Terry?
I really don't know how much the township, I'm thinking townships now as opposed to the city.
You need to read it.
I think separate's okay. But go ahead.
Well, it's like when we have clean sweep, they send that out to everybody and everything, and then, well, clean sweep's a little bit different, but how many pay attention to that or hand out flyers and do stuff because it's in the paper and noted and everything.
But this isn't gonna be in the paper.
So are the target audiences different? So like this one's got a Deer Town Village Chair Mayor. Is this a smaller mailing if it's sent independent than this one? Is this like every resident in the county?
They're both going to municipalities. Cause the thing is, the towns, villages or whatever,
Okay.
because a lot of them, I don't know if they know 100% what we do, what we offer.
They don't.
And I need them to know because they're the ones representing the people that live in their community.
Okay.
And if they don't know, then how are they supposed to help anyone in their community? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
does that make sense? But if I put it all in one packet, I'm just afraid, because it really is, one is from the Russ County Animal Shelter Manager. One is from the Russ County Humane Officer. And that's two different entities. You know what I mean?
There'll be another letter besides this one.
Yeah.
That letter will state,
I've got that for you. That letter is basically gonna say what the shelter's been doing, how many animals we brought in.
oh,
How many,
it's a report.
basically, yes, which I would like to do every year, but I haven't really had time. Does that make sense?
Is that a compliance issue for the board? Is she supposed to do one every year?
No,
No, she gives us the thing.
there are times I don't have time, but
I understand. I don't think it's a problem to send three letters in the same
Maybe
envelope.
two letters. we too.
I don't think, especially if it's a targeted audience. I would say if you were, sending this to like every resident in the county and this was targeted, That'd be a little different.
She doesn't have a budget that big.
But it's important. Because that's where it starts from the municipalities.
And it's probably causing a problem for some of the municipalities.
Oh, yes.
So you're gonna get mixed reception. I'm not sure like Town of Rusk, I'm not sure how they're gonna respond. They like you said, they may not even read it, but for a town that has the problem, or
Well,
they would read that, yeah, they may want to take action.
So for the humane officer one, this has to be approved by Rich. Just make sure. And then this one and this one are as is, but you have to do a letter, right? That's what you're saying, or a report.
It's basically a
report.
Yeah, it's basically a report.
Yeah. So, I guess, I guess get approval and come back with a letter, or a report.
In another month or.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but we haven't seen the letter or the report.
But what about this letter?
Again,
If you approve it and if you guys approve the letter today and then
humane officer one,
the humane officer one, and then
Rich,
Rich approves it, can I then send it? Instead of having to wait another month, because that one is important. This one is opening because that's just shelter
This
stuff,
is-
but
right,
that one is
What?
important.
I'd say, I'll make a motion for Dawn to send out this letter pending the approval of
Rich,
Rich.
and you're just going to send it to the 32 municipalities.
and probably the city.
Well, that's one of them.
Is it what, or mayor? I don't even know who to send it to. I just, and then I have to make sure I have everybody's addresses. I know things have changed, but
Yeah, because, the town addresses are in the little book.
Yeah, we can get those.
Yeah,
I have the book, but is everything still current in there?
Chairman's, yes.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, the motion has been made. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded to authorize Dawn to send out the Rusk County Humane Officer letter, getting approval by Rich, for it. Any further discussion?
Now, when Rich approves it, do you want him to send you guys an email that he approved it?
No, just because he'll let you know, or
Okay.
you should get an email from him or something saying, yes, this, or if he has to make any changes in it. I'm assuming if it's just minor changes, you can just go ahead. Anything else? So, okay, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. And then you'll work on the report or whatever. And then bring back the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, future shelter events.
Step up.
Yes.
We have events coming up June, July, August. Some are fundraising, some are, well, they're all to bring awareness to the shelter. But the first one is this Saturday, and this is our flyer. This one is not a fundraiser, although we always have a donation jar at every event. But it's kind of a co-branded event on Saturday from 11 to 12 at the library bookshop, which is the resale shop below the library. It's going to be dog story reading with 2 shelter dogs. So we're gonna have 2 puppies there. It's for kids. So we didn't put ages in, but we're targeting kids probably like 2 to 8. So it's promoting the shelter. It's a free event. So for anybody who wants to bring their young kids in, it's just a fun event to promote the bookshop and the shelter. We checked out books from the library, and it's just gonna be a fun time. So today, I believe Nicole's gonna post the flyer with
Yes.
which dogs are attending. And of course, we'll have applications there too. So our hope is maybe we'll gin up some interest too for the puppies. So that one's just a fun event, positivity for the shelter, free event.
Where is this going to be posted, or have you already posted?
Oh, yeah. Actually, if you go, I get turned around. I posted one up in the courthouse or the county building here about 10 days ago. I did flyers throughout the area,
Okay.
gas stations, et cetera, but I really think Facebook, like when we first posted it a couple
Okay,
weeks
you got
ago,
it
I
on.
shared it on all the WhatsApp sites. And then today we're gonna post which dogs are attending. It's the 2 puppies.
Woody.
Woody and Winona, and we'll have extra hands. we'll have extra hands to dog wrangle, and I'm bringing a bed and cushion. I mean, it's just gonna be sweet and cozy and should be a lot of fun. And then July 16th, this one is a fundraiser. As you know, the Spay Neuter Fund typically does a fundraiser spring and fall. Didn't really work out this spring. So you might be familiar with what's brewing at JT's. It's on Warden Avenue down at the end, and she's a supporter of the shelter and offered to do a fundraiser. This is the flyer she created. It's a pre-Mardi Gras party. I'm gonna see if we can fine tune this a little bit.
Oh, that's one that it had a lot of mistakes at spelling.
Did. And I asked her to. I asked, this is the slightly corrected version. She sent it to me last night, but, and she updated.
Neuter is spelled wrong.
Oh, I didn't even catch that one.
Yeah, neuter is spelled wrong.
I am gonna see if, maybe Tom can work on it. Because, and it's really dark. This is actually when she sent it to me last night. This is, she took like a photo, so it didn't even print well.
Oh,
So we've got to work on that a little bit. But the fundraising portion, $1 of every either flight or glass of wine sold will go to the shelter. I don't know if you've been in her facility, but there's the area where they serve the wine and you can sit and blah, blah, blah. Next to it is another room with a doorway, and we're going to do some kitty wrangling. There's some kittens that'll be about 11 weeks old at that time. And so I've got a big metal pen about this big. And so if the kitties are getting out of hand, we'll have, cages and
A
things. like
corral.
that. We'll have a corral. But we'll have people there, and it's far enough away from the door. It shouldn't be a problem. So, and it's kind of like when we did Tractor Supply. It's a meet and greet. They're not going to be adopting there, but it's a great way, since there's a lot of kittens, it's kitten season, to promote adoption down the road and raise a little money as well.
You're gonna be herding cats and
We will be, but the pen that I've got is about this high, but it's a separate room. And if it really gets out of hand, we'll have the crates there too. But the kittens will be there from about 4 to 6. I think there's going to be kittens from a couple different litters. And it's the night before Mardi Gras starts, so she's gonna have a lot of Mardi Gras beads and fun things. And I'm gonna bring in cheese and crackers. She doesn't have a food license, so I can bring in.
So. I was
Yes.
just, that's neuter is spelled wrong. That's got.
I didn't even catch that one, but yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get this. But once this is, well, we don't want to promote too early either. We usually start about maybe 2.5 weeks before. So we'll get that cleaned up. And then we'll start promoting in the usual way with starting with posting there. She'll be posting too. We'll do some flyers around town. But I think too, the timing will be pretty good. And she's going to probably bring in a couple of beers. So it should attract, if people want to bring a part, you think wine, you think women, but she's going to have some other beverages that might appeal to men. So,
That's a Wednesday.
yeah. What's wrong with that?
No, I was just saying, because usually most things are Friday or Saturday.
Well, but we don't want it to interfere with Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
It's like the kickoff, because I've actually been promoting this already with some friends, and I'm like, well, that's a great time. It's before,
Yeah.
so. And then the biggie, I don't have a flyer yet, but we really want to promote the shelter and services they offer. So August 23rd, we're planning to do an open house. And it's got three parts. The open house is to just draw people in who maybe haven't been there for a while, meet animals. We're doing it in August. We're hoping those cages, that wall of cages that Dawn ordered, will be there, but the shelter will be spiffied up. We're gonna have a lot of people on hand. I've got a little pop-up canopy tent. We're gonna do root beer floats. And I'm gonna be really careful with that. Tom and I are gonna buy the ice cream and the root beer. I've already bought cute little paw print cups and things. And so we'll have the pop-up tent outside. I've got some volunteers that'll help serve. And then the really important thing, it's also a microchip clinic. So the public can bring in their animals, and Dawn and Nicole probably will be doing that inside. And so for their $20, they can get their animals microchipped.
Okay. The bamboo line, the budget.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But that'll be from 12 to 2, and it's also a Saturday. And so we're just hoping to really bring a lot of people out. that maybe haven't been before. Maybe they're interested in adopting. What I'm gonna do, I've been keeping a partial, my son say partial. I started doing thank yous back like late last year. So I don't have a complete donor list. There's a few people on there I'm gonna reach out to specifically. I'm not gonna mention the name because I know this is
Mhm.
but we have a supporter at the clinic and I've been in touch with, met with her back in November. Very pro shelter. She's distributing all this stuff at the clinic and hospital. So I'm hoping what I'm planning to do, and maybe, and you might have some people I'm not aware of. I'm gonna send out personal invitations to be there and see what they're supporting. And I've got to do a lot of thinking, but I'm hoping we can maybe pull something together, sort of a low-key fundraiser. Maybe not right there, but be talking with people who support it and have capacity. And try to get them ginned up to want to do more.
Well, all three of the, what was the first one that you have now?
Oh, the story time with the dog.
And that's when again?
That's this Saturday,
That
from 11 to 12. Yeah.
And you're putting, I mean, you've got flyers and everything, but all of these will be like on the Facebook.
They already are, except for
And
the August 23rd. And I don't think because this one still has to
We're
be.
not ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, and we don't want to put them out too early because then they get lost.
they forget them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's just fabulous.
Well, I'll tell you, the dog one, so Lynette Anderson runs the bookshop, which again is the resale shop down below. She already had it in the paper, they have the comment, the public comment type stuff in the paper. It was in last week's paper. I didn't check. Well, it's today's paper. And she was gonna have it on the radio too. So we're trying to do a lot of different things to promote, but what we've been doing is starting about 2.5 weeks before, once they post at the shelter, then I post it on all the WhatsApp sites and then people start sharing. So we do get quite a bit of buzz. And then like this one is gonna be posted again today. So we always do about 2.5 weeks out. And then it's a few days before, like the week of whatever, we blast it out again with an update, like today. Here's the
We'll probably
puppy.
have pictures of them
She
too.
already showed me the photos. Very cute. They're very cute. Yeah.
Those are the
So,
two that were.
Yeah,
abandoned.
yeah. So I hope we can get enough people showing up. It was kind of fun because when Nicole first posted this one, a lot of younger women with kids that she knows, because she's from the area, so she knows all these names. They were sharing like crazy. So we're very hopeful.
Thank you for all this. I mean, I think these three events are great.
Well, it's positivity. Like I said, this one's not going to bring in any money, but
It's awareness though.
it's
and that's-
awareness.
that's
It's positive awareness.
It's good
Right.
PR.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some of them will result in adoptions, like if we have animals there. And we're always very careful to say it's a meet and greet, but adoptions happen too. So it's all good stuff.
Is there chance again to have it at Tractor Supply or?
No, I think I told you the manager who was so supportive left. And the concern I had when I was in there couple of times trying to figure it all out for spring, they wanted to have the animals outside, like have the cat, and I'm like, with the cats, we can't do that. So I haven't circled back because, I don't want to be ultra like this is the way it's got to be, it's their store, but we have to be mindful of the animals. So I might circle back. And I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over. We're also doing a supply drive here. That was the nice thing about Tractor Supply, because we could do a supply drive right there and they could purchase it. But Joan at JT's has our list of supplies and it's on her Facebook page already. The supplies that she needs. So if people bring in the litter, food, their name can go in for a drawing too. So I've been kind of thinking about another location that I might approach. We'll talk about it. But there's other businesses in town that might be, it's just that was a great location because there's
Mhm.
so much that people can just grab off the shelf.
Right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll circle back, but
I think this is great.
yeah. There's a lot of good stuff we can keep doing.
Any questions on that or anything?
And we'll keep,
Gonna have to have any action.
No,
No.
this is just,
Actually,
Too late for action, it's already done.
it's done.
No, I'm just glad to see all the community involvement.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the people in attendance and the events that everyone's doing. I mean,
You know,
West County folks are going animal forward.
They are, and in a positive way. The one question I do have, I actually drove out there a couple days ago. Assuming this thing on August 23rd is a massive success, I'm like parking. So I drove out to the shelter a few days ago. I'm like, where are we gonna put all these cars? You know, it's from 12 to 2, so not everybody will be there, but I think if we really promote the heck out of the microchip clinic, that'll pull a lot of people. Root beer floats, if it's a hot day, that'll pull people. I mean, you've got grass where people park, but I looked, the shoulder out on that your road is not very wide. And I
you
noticed,
probably shouldn't be parking on.
exactly, no.
Ask the company that's right across the street from us.
Acrylic design,
Yeah, because they're probably not open on a Saturday, but you could ask them if, because they got a huge parking lot there.
so, cause I jotted their name down.
Yeah, I would ask them.
And I am gonna reach out, but then I got to thinking, okay, it's the road, people walking across. Do we need to be concerned about that? But I do think we might draw enough people that parking could be an issue. To me, that's the only question mark with this.
Be a wonderful problem.
I don't know, maybe I'm being really way too optimistic, but, and maybe we have a person out there, because when you look at your, I don't know if you care much about the grass. Cause I thought I could,
Your maintenance does.
yeah, I could put the pop up in the grass portion closest to the
One thing I'd
road.
be worried about the grass is people parking on it, because then they put, because that grass gets really wet and it's soft ground, so they might
Okay,
put in it.
well, I mean, is that gonna be a deterrent to doing this, parking?
Mhm.
You don't think so?
Figure it out.
Okay, we can't,
There's not a lot of traffic on that road probably on a Saturday.
okay.
And if you maybe put, get some of those pedestrian signs.
So I was gonna say, watch for children or something.
Or if that just, yeah, or a couple, you know, I'm sure we can, maintenance may even have something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But that way, when people are, if they're driving either way and they see like a kid, you know, watch for pedestrians or something, they'll slow down. So I don't, but if you can get permission for them to
So,
park,
so that's what you suggest I do, contact acrylic?
that's what I suggest, yeah. I think so.
Okay,
I mean, they can line up around the grass there, and then the other issue is you don't want them parking in the way of the dog park either.
right, because there's almost no parking there already.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's something we'll need to work on then.
but parking on the other side of the shelter is fine, you know, as
And
long
we
as they
can
keep
go
a little
all,
open.
where the grass is, we can go all the way
Yeah,
out. Okay,
They just, I wouldn't have them like try to stay off the
okay.
grass, because
Well, and I-
it's soft
And I
there.
do think I've already got a few volunteers lined up. I think I can get more. Maybe we have a parking, you know, someone who just literally just directs people and
Right.
all that good stuff. Okay.
You
So
want me to ask maintenance if they have some sort of like pedestrian?
that would
or-
be awesome. And I will contact Acrylic because they did have a nice big parking lot there that would make a lot of sense. And I'm gonna do a free will donation. I was gonna like promote free root beer floats. I'm like, oh my God, look at all these people for freebies. So we're not charging. We probably can't, I'm guessing. But we'll have a free will. And of course, promote donations at the same time.
Sure.
I'll see what I can do about that. Otherwise, I
Okay,
might
awesome.
be able to order something on Amazon. I mean, I don't know how much they are, but
Okay.
Oh, I,
Sure those exist.
they do. I've seen them.
you know,
They're like these little yellow people and they look like they're crossing the road.
Yeah,
Have you seen them?
yeah,
It says,
Yeah.
you know, slow down, or yeah, that's all we.
Think of any other ways to promote. I mean, we'll do Facebook, we'll do in the paper and that kind of stuff, but if you think of anything else,
I
and
think this is great.
well, and maybe, I don't know, within the county itself. Well, like, here's, like, this is a county event, you know, it's the bookshop, but under the, you know, I mean, to me, that's like a really cool thing. So it's promoting county, but even with this being animal shelter stuff, it's a big enough event. Is there anything we can do within the county besides me putting a flyer up on the bulletin board? Like, do you
Page on the
you
website.
do a newsletter that's, no, nothing? Okay, okay.
You know, like your Facebook page or, you know, stuff like that.
Okay.
It's gotta be
Other-
Nicole who, we
Yeah.
get it done when we get started.
You could put something at the banks, you know, they have those things that, you know, while you're waiting for the train and on at Marshfield, many things on there.
They're doing that for us already.
Okay, so
I put them at CCF.
Okay.
Family Restaurant is terrific. about supporting the shelter. And then that CCF is right there. So I haven't done any other banks. But I've done that one. I've done gas stations, Ollie's. Some, like in the past, I've put a few down, like in the Bruce area, surrounding areas. I don't know if you all think going to more.
Conrad.
You might like.
Yeah,
Be involved.
Yeah.
what's that?
We've got that sign out front there too, in
Oh.
front of the telephone office, you know, our big
Oh.
electronic sign. We can put it down there too.
Hey,
You never told us this before.
Tom, you've been holding it out.
Belong to Kiwanis, and it's a,
Well, he's got
Come on, it's not-
connections in.
So you can pull that out for us?
I could try, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'll give you a root beer float if you get it done.
All right, what a deal.
Yeah,
A free one.
yeah. You know, that would,
You know, you adopt one kitten, you get the second one free.
Really?
Yes.
yeah, it's a BOGO, buy one, get one.
Fantasia and Flubber are waiting for you,
So did you show your Kiwanis card?
or Roger.
Anyway, that would be awesome.
Whatever.
And as it goes, any thoughts or if you think of anything else to, because I really want to blow the August 23rd one up.
So,
big.
wonder just to email you then, or how would you?
I'll get hold of them and I'll.
Okay. And Dawn, I'll have the info too, but yeah, you're certainly welcome.
I have her number if you want it.
Yeah.
Boy, does she have my number.
Oh,
Okay, well,
Thanks
awesome.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
We got a fun summer coming up. We really do.
I have a question concerning publicity, like in the last paper, you know, they had Adopt a Cat.
Yeah.
And you know, their sponsors are underneath. But who does that? Does the news, I mean.
The newspaper, but I was thinking that very same thing. Yeah, maybe,
Paper just says, hey, it's, you know.
but they have all these sponsors underneath. Did you see the whole page that we had? in
You
the
know, I just looked at the cats. I didn't even look at what.
But it says that ad is a whole page. That's a lot of, that costs money. And underneath it were all these sponsors.
Bye.
So if you grab that newspaper,
Oh, we've got it.
you got it, but maybe,
But who promotes it? That's what I was wondering. Who starts it, you know, to get the,
I would imagine that the newspaper asked them, because that had nothing to do with me.
I just was.
Get any proceeds from that?
They just paid for our big page of June is Adopt a Cat Month.
They get their name, so.
And they get their little names underneath it. So there was a ton of them. But I would reach out to the newspaper and maybe ask her how she got those sponsors.
That's just,
Because there's a lot of them on there, at least 12, if not more than, I think there was. quite a
yeah, and
few
if they're
on
not
there.
donating to the shelter, maybe you could let them know that they can
You could
donate to
use
the shelter
hang
directly.
flyers there or,
Yeah.
anything.
No, that's, like I said, when I see animal pictures, that's what I look at.
Cause it was Don Johnson
Yeah.
Motors. It was pretty much every,
Instantly are getting hit though for, you know, all the things, whether
Right.
it's, you know.
I'm sure.
political thing or Fourth of July or.
Yep.
Support our veterans.
Yes.
Any of those kinds of things.
But this is sort of a separate topic, but as you're talking, but, this might be more for the future, but like trying to get a sponsor for an event. I mean, have we ever actually done like where it's just one or two sponsors?
no, not that I'm aware of. Well, because I don't think the shelter's really ever had like a real fundraising that's my, under me, but I really don't have time for that.
Something maybe to pursue.
So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yay.
Okay,
Okay,
awesome sauce.
let's move on then to the monthly budget report. That Dawn did here. Again, the first one is 282. And that's the building fund, and we don't have any budget in here, and so there's no concern. The second one is 285, well, at least in this packet. This is the gift fund. Again, you look at the budget information, it's, she's going to have more revenue than we anticipate, so there's no concerns. You see the little checkbox. Again, this is required, since May. Every month,
Yeah.
Dawn's got to do this. Spay neuter fund, 284. Again, we spent about almost half of the budget, but then we're almost halfway through. This is be 5 months. But again, there's more revenue, and so again, no No problem, she's saying. And then 281, that's the main budget one, and we'll hit that up again. You can see that she's got a little bit more projected expenditures than the budget and stayed with the revenue, which is good. And down there, it was use, this was for the animal supplies, the 380, 348 line item. And so this is the one where we were using the gift fund for the specialty care and the things that was for the, what was the cat? Was the one, oh, that you had the emergency on. What's the latest on? Anything moving ahead on the court stuff?
I believe that there is another, date. I want to say it's next week.
Oh,
You gotta remember, there's several before me. There's things from 2023 that still have not gone to trial.
okay, so Dawn's accounted for these things. Any questions on the budget?
Do you want the originals or do you want the copies?
Well, I guess we really don't,
You need them to turn into.
I just need one to turn in the sign. Yeah, I guess
They took your signatures off of this last one.
I think it's just that it's approved by the committee.
Yes, and I have them here too.
So I don't need them. You don't need them. Okay.
No, yep. So are there any other questions on these budget reports that Dawn did? Okay, if not, I'll need a motion to approve the budget report for the month of June.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget reports. We're going.
I'll second the motion to approve the reports.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carried. Okay, and then we come down to our options for building remodeling.
I do have something to say too.
Okay,
So last meeting, I said that I had a written, a grant proposal. That's what you call it. I don't know. To the ASPCA for $25,000.
Yep.
I have a Zoom meeting with, one of the people that runs that from the ASPCA. He's got a couple questions, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But, I have some ideas for this, but I'm not gonna do anything about any ideas until I know if I got that $25,000 grant.
okay,
But it is, I think the 23rd, I think I have a Zoom meeting with her about that grant.
okay, well, it's a step forward.
It is. So what, if I get approval, if they okay it, then I have some other ideas that I will present to you about
Yep.
this situation.
I think a couple of the things that we've talked about before was, well, and this would be again, just mentioning it, we don't need to discuss today about, getting a garage that would
Mhm.
free up stuff and everything like
That's
that.
all gonna depend on this grant probably.
And again, we talked about this before, this still has to do with ownership of the building and stuff like that, but that's tied up with all of the joint owned buildings, so we're kind of stymied in that right now. Can't get on anything like that right now. Go ahead.
Well, Dawn, I don't know if it would help in any way, but if you talk to this person on the Zoom meeting, you could say that you would likely have a sponsor that would match that grant money.
Okay, I did mention I had a sponsor that was going to, build the garage. Cause you have to have you gotta go somewhere with your
Project.
stuff. So
Project.
a project, yeah. So, but I can also mention that as well, so.
I think that'd be very helpful.
That would probably, I come from the nonprofit world, that could sway.
Yep.
I'd really hit that hard.
Okay, nothing more on that then. Well, good luck with the Zoom thing. Okay, monthly animal shelter report, humane officer report.
Okay. I'm gonna do this first. This is for Joanne, I believe you set this up, this Eau Claire Community Foundation. building sustainability fund or whatever you want to call it. So I did get some of that. That was $4,170 that went into the building fund.
That's from last year though.
I just got this on June 5th.
Okay.
So I'm not
It's for
sure.
this year.
It's for this year, yeah. I do have a letter. If you want, I brought it because I know it's yours. If you want to read it, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, 2025.
Okay.
It's the Russ County Community Foundation.
So they didn't let me know.
Yeah.
They did let you know?
No.
Oh, they didn't? Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll let you look. You can read the letter if you want to.
What? All right.
Um. That's tough. Here's for you guys. Jill probably needs one too.
Yeah.
Let's have an actual.
Guys. Inventory.
Here's the.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the good news?
Good news. All right, we have a total of 55 animals at the shelter right now. 44 of those are cats, ranging from 2 weeks old to 5 years old. 44 cats, 11 dogs. All of our dogs that were in foster care have been adopted. We now have 3 two-week-old kittens that are in foster care. 1 kitty in impound. We have 4 kitties in playroom 1. 4 kitties in playroom 2. That's where Roger lives. Playroom 2. Then we have cat quarantine has 8. Cat room has 8. Dog kennels, there's 8 dogs, so that kennel's actually 8 dogs in there, and then there's 3 dogs in quarantine. And all of the dogs, except for the impounded dogs, will be going for adoption. Everybody's been fixed, and the good news is they all got done at Ladysmith Vet
Oh,
because they had time to get us in, so we didn't have to bring all these dogs to Fix a Pet. So that was good for us. We didn't have to do any big traveling. So I think we got 5 dogs going up for adoption within the next few days, so. Including the little ones that are going to the reading. And then we got the 3 in foster care. We've got 5 kitties going into the hallway this morning. Those were all except for Flapjack. He's not big enough, but he's still out there. Those guys all just got fixed yesterday. And then the laundry room. 10 in the laundry room. All little. But besides their mamas, there's 2 mamas, each mama has 4 babies. When I left, they were in the laundry room. I have to let them out because those kittens need exercise because they get very pent up. So I got 2 moms and 8 kittens running around right now. They like it. They get into all kinds of trouble in there, but gives them something to do. And then Atticus, he's in my office. He is 26 pounds. He's a 26-pound cat. He's overweight. He's terrified. He's scared. So I had to take him out of the cage because I'm like, this cat, he didn't move. He's very scared. Very nice kitty. Once I got him out of there, got him in my office, he kind of hides behind his litter box, but now he comes out and he gets all his scratches. He's very, very friendly. But any loud noise, I don't know what happened to him, but he goes and he hides, but he comes out for butt rubs but yeah, he needs a treadmill. He needs a water treadmill. I don't have one of those.
How much that cost?
I'm sure it's expensive.
Well, they're great promotional videos, the water.
Oh,
treadmill
yes, they're good for joints and hips and overweight animals.
While we're on the inventory, I remember, I think it was last month, we had done, I think there was quite a bit of expense taking care of one of the mastiffs. Is
Yeah.
there a status update on that Mastiff?
Fine.
He's in better health?
Well, he's on Galliprant, 1 pill a day, so that is an anti-inflammatory and a pain med. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Right. We had an elder dog that was on.
yeah,
Gal-
that's what he's on. That is helping his arthritis and his pain. But obviously, he's got the issues with the hernia. So that is a problem. And he also has the issues with an enlarged prostate. If it's not dealt with sooner than later, he's gonna have another emergency.
Do you
There's nothing I can do about it.
have any? Yeah, I guess it's just like a wait and see.
I have
when
to-
The next unknown expense is gonna come through, right?
I'm hoping that before that happens, I'll be able to have custody of those animals and get him neutered like he needs to be. That's what helps with that. No, he's okay.
Okay, anything else on the,
Animal shelter, I'm not done yet. Let's see, oh, that's my letter. 9 adoptions since last meeting. I've written 16 warning letters. And I have 10 animal complaints. And I have 3 more on my desk that probably are not included in here. I never dig out of the hole. And all of these complaints or warning letters, I have to go back and make sure these people are doing what I'm asking or, whatever it's about. So I don't just write a letter and then I'm done. I have to
Follow up.
follow up, which is obviously difficult, but it gets done. Sooner or later, it gets done. Oh,
that's,
one last thing. We did receive a donation yesterday, of $35,000. And, I split it up. So 5,000 went into the building fund. 5,000 went into the gift fund. The rest of it went into spay neuter. Cause I spend probably almost $20,000 a year. $16,000 to $20,000 a year in spay and neuter.
okay.
So that went to the fund.
Was this from a deceased?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have more coming.
Okay, because remember, we've got in trouble with that. Well, they want to make sure that in this case, you can decide what
It's
you want to do.
specified, yeah.
Right,
Yep.
but specified, right,
Yep.
right.
Yeah, oh, I
And
know. Everybody gets asked and everybody
Yep.
gets, yep.
To do it.
It's like church giving, right? It's like you can put it towards like a designated fund, or you can release it to general funds.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Right, but this is, because this is part of the county, we gotta be careful about that. So, yeah, we've been over
Been
that.
designated to
Right.
building, spay neuter, gift.
Or operations.
Operations is gonna be the next one that I get, because there's more coming.
Okay.
That was
so
our first.
operations, to help.
But operations, if I put 20 grand in operations and I only go over $5,000, the rest of that gone.
So, well, if
So that's the way that goes.
it avoids,
So,
Can you repeat that 5,000 to building?
5,000 went to the building fund,
5,000
5,000 to gift fund,
and then the rest.
25,000 went to spay neuter. Because like I said, I spend anywhere from $16,000 to $20,000 a year in spay and neuter. That's just for the animals at the shelter. So, because they don't leave without getting fixed, there's no way. We have too many animals running around here that are not fixed.
okay, anything,
What's the problem with operations? Does it return to like a county general fund at
Yes.
the end of the year if you put it in there?
yeah,
Okay.
So if,
But
well, it reduces the tax levy.
okay,
for
it does, but operations is for food
So
and all
you
that
still-
stuff.
so the shelter does still get the benefit, whether or not the funds are used within the donation year?
Right,
Okay.
right, because it reduces tax levy and when we do budget stuff in, something like that again, well, that's,
I try to put enough in there to even it out, I guess. But that's,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Okay, any-
Constituents will be happy.
what?
I said the constituents will be happy.
Yes, it reduces, well,
I think last year, didn't I put in like 15 or 20?
yeah, and it all went, yeah, let me see here.
Yeah, it helps,
Okay.
it helps the levy.
That everything. Okay, moving on. We'll look at the budget review, that's the other sheets that you have. Um,
A lot of packets.
yeah. We look at this again. Dawn had gone through and had. We look at the first one here, again, explaining the format, well, for Jeremy and but for everything. The first column is the budget was approved for the year. The second column is year to date, so this stuff was done through the end of May. And so it's just simply the first column minus second column. Under, over. Then the fourth column, Dawn goes through and projects how much do we expect the ending cost to be or revenue, right? And then the last column is just going to be any change in the budget or anything over, under. So you can see that in the first group here.
Have mine, you don't have to.
In the first group here. Again, for most of this, like for salaries and everything, you go with what's been done. You can see for 348 down there, well, if you look over to the right-hand column, it's got a negative 500. So she put in that the budget was 4,000. She's expecting the cost to be actually 4,500. So that's $500 more than what was budgeted for. And that's what she had mentioned about. I'm concerned about that one maybe being over, or it could be over more. So again, one way to look at this is just look in the right-hand column to see if there's anything over or under. And you can look at the other ones and everything, and you can see, again, this is 5 months worth. But this, that's the only one that's the thing. And there's some things in here that, again, we don't get charged until the end of the year, so we just leave it. The second page of that on the bottom is the revenue. And again, it's the shelter donations. We budgeted 4,000. Well, we've already got more than 4,000, so she raised it to 5,000. So we got an extra $1,000 in there for the year. So again, so the net amount is that, well, okay, we're within budget of $475 to the good, really. Any questions on that? Okay, the next one is the building fund. Again, nothing has really happened in that yet this year. You've got the budget. So there's really no budget. Again, the first one was operations that hits the levy. This one does not hit the levy. You can see there's no activity or anything like that, so no levy. The next one is spay neuter. You can see that, oh, I should tell you that.
How much is in the building? It's around there.
Okay, the building fund at the beginning of the year has 18,000 roughly. If you can you read that
Yeah,
number?
I can
It's
see it.
so dark.
18,186.68.
Yeah. That is the balance in the building fund as of at the beginning of the year, and so there's been no activity, so that stayed the same. For spay neuter, you can see there that it's almost half the year. We spent half of it already through May. And the donations, we estimated 10,000, we got 2,300 in. Aluminum cans we got this year and everything. So if you just look at this, so we've got roughly $4,000 more in expenses than we have in income right now at the end of there. But the beginning fund in spay neuter was 31,000 203.77. I just got the final 2024. So if we subtract 4,000 from that, we've really got about, say, 27,000 left in the spay neuter fund. And then plus you were mentioning, again, this is as a May
Right, something
31st. And again, does not hit the tax levy. And then the last item is gift fund. We've gotten in, well, 2,100. Again, this does not hit the levy. We've gotten in 2,100 and basically the good gift fund at the end of the year was 84,865.82. And so we got 2,000, so it's up to 86,000, say roughly 87,000 the gift fund. Again, the gift fund is restricted though to only special needs and projects. It can't be used for, general. So that's where we stand on those things. Any questions on any of that? And again, going through and doing the budget, we already looked at the budget report. There wasn't anything on that.
You'll have to, before the next meeting, get the actual numbers,
We'll put on the
Those-
bottom.
those like
here.
put in, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't have that
Yeah.
for that, so that we know how many cars. What?
Speed.
And I don't know, well, I didn't check yet. If we look at in the regular fund, for travel, I don't know if we have. Auto. Oh, they must have transferred funds out of there, I guess they neuter then for the mileage.
Okay, good.
Because, I mean, you've
It's
got
less
two
than?
and a half thousand and it only shows $98.
Problem solved.
Yep.
And you'll have, next month, you'll have that next, it's April, May,
Yep.
June, so you'll have the
Another
next.
quarter. So again, we voted to, because mileage is specifically related. I mean, they only record the mileage when they go like to Eau Claire or Gilesville or wherever. So that's a legitimate expense to charge.
But that saved us 2 trips that Lady Smith could get our dogs.
Yep.
done.
That's right.
Yep.
So that did save us, and that was the issue. They just couldn't get our dogs in, and they just don't go out without not being fixed. There's no way. Oh, that's good.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is to approve payment of the bills. And you've got the bills there. Love.
What's that? Cat scratch protector.
It's for the, so when I had maintenance redo the room, I took that plastic off. So I bought a thing in there so they couldn't wreck the wall. It's like on the wall. Cause otherwise,
Does it just go down the wall to the baseboard or what?
yeah, it's like a little piece of carpet
Oh,
thingy.
So they can scratch on it.
They're still naughty in that room though.
Yeah, but it deters some damage to the structure then at that point.
Yeah, tries to. Those cats in that room are. They're the bomb.com, those 4 little boys.
Okay, any questions on the bills? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve payment of the bill.
Make a motion to approve payment of the bills as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made second to approve payment of the bills. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed say no. Motion carried. Okay, fracas. Any fracas report?
We're on hold until you guys make the move that you're gonna do something. And then
Okay.
we will get involved doing something, because our first stated mission is for the building and the facilities. And, so yeah, we're gonna get used to not doing anything, and I don't like that, but we're waiting on you. The other thing is, we are a 501c3. So donations that go to us are tax deductible. So sometimes if you have a big donation and they wanna tax deductible, you work with us, all previous managers have worked with us, that we will take the money in and then we release it. And the spay neuter fund used to go to us because we were 501c3, they weren't. And then we release the money back to you, but at least on paper, then it's tax deductible. And I think that that's really important. Some people, it's not important to, they don't care if they get a receipt for a little bit, but maybe a larger amount they want, may. And,
Do you have a donate button on your Facebook page or through PayPal?
I don't even know, okay,
They don't even have
I
a,
don't even know if we
You don't have a Facebook page?
Not that I,
That would be a way to get people to donate.
I thought it was still out there. It's inactive, but I think I've seen it. There's
Okay,
not
yeah.
anything
I-
recent on
I
it.
don't,
I do emails and I can do texts. That's, and between the couple of members that we have, we are not electronically savvy. So, I mean, I don't do social media at all.
For the best.
So, anyway,
That stuff.
but then the other thing is, I do have a question, okay, and I'm not for or against the whole shop, highway shop or sheriff's department thing, anything like that. I don't have an opinion on it. But as much money as it's gonna cost, do you know how much they are letting out to the public that will make a difference in their tax bill?
that was all released. Again, that has not been approved.
No, I'm not asking if it's been approved. I'm just going ballpark for, I don't know, is it?
It's like $1 per thousand,
Yeah. That's right.
roughly.
I was gonna say 1 penny per 100, but $1 per 1,000 mark.
Okay, well, the reason I ask is because, okay, that's really nice
But
that.
then spread out over 4 years, I think.
Doesn't matter, I'm just talking in generalities, I'm not, this isn't a comment about the spending for that. But I'll bring it back home to, okay, so you gave however many thousands back to operations to the county. That might make what? 30 cent different on somebody's bill? Tax bill?
$30,000?
Yeah.
I'm not following what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the constituents, like you said, the constituents are gonna be so happy because this money went back against the levy. And so, you know,
Oh,
if it makes 30 cents different on your bill, you're not gonna be getting any thank you
It'll
note.
be a lot less than that.
No.
It'll be,
It would be even less than that, but I think no, go ahead.
So please try and put those donations into the funds that aren't gonna go back to the county. Please put them in spay neuter, the gift, or the building fund, rather than operations. The constituents, like you say, it's even gonna be less than 30 cents. Come on.
way less.
So just something to think about.
You do have a page.
Oh, we do have a page. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Are we still adjourned? Yeah.
No, well, we will. Okay, anything else? Okay, the next,
Can I say one thing as a donor, kind of not exactly as a, that group, but you're on the Russ County Community Foundation, right?
yes,
Okay, I would appreciate knowing that the money is going to be taken out of that account before it is, because it doesn't make interest in the building fund. And if we're not building this year, it could stay in the account and earn more interest as well. So that's why I probably had some question about whether I wanted to have it given this year.
you must,
It can sit there.
you must have authorized it, otherwise it wouldn't have been issued.
I got a thing that said that it could be, I don't remember signing anything to say that it was authorized. So,
Okay.
but anyway, just keep
Comment.
that in mind for the future, that I do want to know what's being done, because,
I'm just wondering,
I mean, if it was 49.
maybe they, you know what, cause I
That
think
might be from last year.
it might be. And maybe we're just getting it now. I don't know.
That
Signed it.
sounds familiar,
The white body.
what the amount was last year.
Okay,
Cause that was happening in Holland, because we don't know what's happening and we didn't know about building.
You're not on this board. These are the board of trustees.
that's just
That's the wrong,
Oh.
on the Eau Claire letterhead, not the Russ County letterhead.
I think they're the same thing though.
No, but
Are they
Russell
thing-
County Community Foundation is under.
Eau Claire?
They're linked. Okay, if nothing else, our next meeting will be July 17th at 8:30. With that, and if it's nothing else, we're adjourned at 9:39.
We have something else if you would take a minute. I mean, you could, I could ask you these after the meeting's over too. But